Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know the drill. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below. Follow me on follow me on Instagram at AIH_sports. Okay, today I want to touch base on a comment that one of my subscribers left, and it was regarding Fanatics. And this guy was saying that, hey, the Fanatics valuation doesn't really make too much sense. And it's probably going to be hard for them to basically deliver on what they were saying. They're saying that their valuation is $10 billion. Pretty high, in my opinion. They raised $350 million, and they were given a speech, and they were saying, "Yeah, we're going to get to $10 billion." And they were trying to say that, hey, this is not they, but I was reading that some people are saying that, hey, this is just like a real estate transaction. It may seem crazy now, but it may be worthwhile in the next decade. That could be the case, but I'm just looking at this from a short term perspective. And I wanted to look at the top situation and try to compare to a certain degree what's going on. Okay. Tops, uh, their revenue in 2019, based on the Mudrick corporation that was supposed to take Tops public. And I saw that their revenue for Tops in 2019 was about $450 million. Last year is close to $550 million. And then this year, the number should be somewhere between $750 and $850 million top line growth. So you're definitely seeing growth during the pandemic. And that being said, 35% of the revenue comes from candy, and the rest of it comes from sports cards. And a lot of it is basically because of Tops. They have other brands as well, WWE, they have Marvel, they have Star Wars, they have some soccer brands as well, and they're going to get licensing, I believe, to another soccer league in 2024. So, yes, they are doing well right now, but here is my concern just from a sports card valuation and sports card perspective, and then also just looking at other macro events as well. So we've had tremendous growth in the sports card industry in the last few years. And now things are getting back to normal. The pandemic made a lot of people buy cards thinking that, hey, people have stimulus money, they can make money on the side. A lot of people made good money. Now, that being said, we have to look at right now where the economy is slowly but steadily starting to open back up. You can go back into stadiums all across America, and that's a bit normal, right? So you're going to see, in my opinion, more money leaving the sports card industry and going into what people used to spend it on. Used to spend it on games, used to spend it on sports gambling, etc. And while people may spend top money on a Mickey Mantle PSA 8 of 1951 or 1952, that's a whole different game than the market that most of us play in, and that is just the retail side. And sure, people are still going to buy packs, but are these numbers sustainable? Will it continue to go higher? And my opinion is it's not, especially when the economy is starting to get back to normal. And also, I'm just looking at it from a perspective of the general economy. So we have the supply chain mess, and it doesn't look good. You have inflation going up, and the GDP numbers came out today. And long story short, the economy in the third quarter grew at 0.5%. 0.5. That's really weak. And unfortunately, the media presented in a way, oh, this is a 2% annualized growth or something like that. But they're just trying to spin it in a positive manner. But zero point 0.5 is not good at all. It's not good. especially when you're coming out of this pandemic. And with inflation on the rise, with low GDP, and with these mandates, my biggest concern is that the whole economy is just going to implode. I mean, supply chain is not getting better anytime soon. The mandates, in my opinion, will not help. So I'm just looking at just from this perspective. Okay, if you have these problems and then you're going to raise interest rates because of what inflation's out there next year, the economy is going to contract, in my opinion. And what does this mean for sports cards? Well, I did a video the other day where 2017, where they raised interest rates quite a bit, the sports card went south. It wasn't too much of a dip, but there was contraction. And then on top of it, we have other issues to deal with. In 2017, the economy was stronger. Right now, it's not too strong. And in a downturn economy, the sports card market will probably go much lower. So we're looking at all of this, or I'm looking at all of this, where, okay, Topps is doing well right now, but I don't think they're going to be doing as well next year and in 2023, 2024. Now, what does this have to do with Fanatics? Well, Fanatics has a valuation, like I said, of $10 billion. So how are they going to maintain this valuation when they probably inherit the market in a weakened sports card market where you see a correction, a hard correction, not the one we saw this year? I think it could be crazier than what we saw before the Chicago National this year. So they're going to inherit the sports card market. And then on top of it, they have to come up with, first of all, they have to buy up a brand or two, maybe Topps, maybe Upper Deck, and they have to come up with MLB cards, NFL cards, and NBA cards. So these three different sports, they have to come up with these cards. And on top of it, in a weakened environment. And right now, the criticism that I have of the sports cards, the new sports cards, is that the supply is way too high. Supply is way too high. So what will Fanatics have to do when they inherit this huge mess, in my opinion? They're going to be dealing with a weakened sports market, weakened economy in general, and then they're going to have to get more people in to get to that $10 billion valuation. And sure, they could have more interaction with the consumers. I think that's a good idea. But I'm just thinking, okay, are they going to have to shut off some of the middlemen in this industry? Are they going to be doing bricks? I've mentioned this in videos before. Are they going to get rid of these dealers that sell the cards to the stores? I'm just curious to see what they're going to do in order to get to that, to reach their numbers. So in the investing world, it's pretty cutthroat. These guys don't care how they get there, the private equity guys, the hedge fund guys. They just want to see the numbers. And in my opinion, to get the numbers, what they'll probably have to do is they're going to have to increase the supply of cards. But what's going to happen in a weakened environment? That's what I'm just thinking of. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this is what I'm looking at just from today. Just going back to the Topps numbers, the Topps situation is 35% of their sales come from candy, okay? 60 to 65% of their numbers come from physical and digital cards. So when in a market that's going higher, okay, you could probably reach those numbers for Fanatics. But if the numbers are going down, sales are going down, then you're talking about, you could go back to the 2019 numbers, okay? In 2019, Topps had about $450 million in sales. And like I said, 30 to 35% of those numbers come from candy. So if you're just looking at uh, the main moneymaker for Topps, what is it, the MLB? And you're talking about, I don't know, 30 to 40% of that 60% of the revenue. That's not a whole lot. Maybe potentially, I don't know, 150 million bucks in 2019 came from MLB. I'm just throwing a number out there. It could be lower because Topps has not numbers, have brands such as Star Wars, Marvel, some soccer brands, etc. And if you're going back to a normalized environment of what these companies used to make, where they're still making money but not too much, Fanatics has some problems on their hands, in my opinion, unless they lower their valuation. But I don't think they're going to lower the valuation because that would be suicide with their investors. And I know some people said that, hey, you're too negative, you're too pessimistic, but I'm just looking at it from just a financial perspective. I crunch numbers, okay? And I used to do financial statement analysis at one of my other companies. And now I'm just doing accounting work, but I used to do financial analysis work and accounting. So I get the numbers picture, and the numbers don't add up. And even I was reading that some of the Wall Street guys couldn't come up with the numbers. They didn't understand, like, where are they getting $10 billion valuation. So if I'm just looking at this, I believe Fanatics will have to screw over everyone they deal with in this hobby. And it's not going to be good for some of these small players in this industry. I think I was talking about this before, but I just did a deeper dive on this in this video. And I think they're going to have a hard time talking to their investors, or they're going to have a hard conversation with their investors early on. Maybe 9-10 years from now, this valuation could make sense, but right now there's no way this valuation makes sense at all. And I was critical of PSA when they had the new ownership and they didn't really care about the customers, it looked like, and what they were doing, and how it appeared that some of these guys were lying and going on podcasts. And I just see, unfortunately, more big corporations, they're ruining things. They're going to ruin things for the hobby, in my opinion. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel. And if you don't agree with me, let me know why. Tell me why. And I know some people say, hey, you're cynical, you're negative. No, I just analyze from an unbiased perspective. I have to look at it like from an umpire, calling balls and strikes. And I'm seeing a lot of strikes. I mean, that's just what I see. And could I be wrong? Oh, yeah, I could definitely be wrong. But I am interested in your opinion. What do you think Fanatics is going to do to this hobby? Is it just going to make things better or worse? You see more engagement with athletes because of the deal with the players union. Maybe there's one positive aspect of this, but right now I just don't see it. I don't see how Fanatics will improve this hobby, at least in the short run. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Smash the like button, comment down below, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks. Bye.